No? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, family. I'm sitting in Israel. It's the end of January 2023. Uh, my granddaughter, Oriti Levy, Orit Guttmacher Levy, has asked me to make a video about my mother. And I'm very anxious to do this because I'm the only one that knows past history. And did I tell you I'm sitting in Orit's living room and she's the director. So rah rah for the director. Okay, back to my mother's life. And to get back to my mother's life, I want to tell you a little bit about her background. I want to tell you a little bit about her parents. Her parents were Israel Arbach and Sarah Arbach, and they lived in what is now the Ukraine. They lived close to Kiev. And from what I understand, this family was well-to-do, very unusual for Jewish people to be well-to-do. And the reason I say they were well-to-do, because I have many things that came from their home in Russia that they were able to bring to the States. I have pieces of china, beautiful pieces. I have linens with an A embroidered on them that came from Russia also. So when they left the Ukraine, they left with two sons. The oldest son was Abe, and the next son was Nate. And from pictures that I've seen of these boys, they were very, very well groomed, and the oldest one was maybe 12, and the younger one was maybe 8. So they left Russia, and they went to New York City. Israel Arbach was fortunate in my estimation because he had two uncles in New York, and these uncles had established a lucrative business. It was a tea and coffee export business. And Israel Arbach apparently was a very good merchant, and he joined them, and they were doing well. The Arbach family lived in a tenement building, and it was on Cherry Street. And my mother was born in her parents' apartment on Cherry Street. At that time in history, there was an organization called, I have to think here, I can't think of the name, but this organization was Jewish, and this organization felt that it was unwise to have a concentration of Jews in one spot, such as New York City. And they were very instrumental with literature, with pictures, with promising Jews in New York City that they should do homesteading, that they should leave the city and go westward, and the area that was open for homesteading was North Dakota. So when my mother was 8 years old, the family were able to move out to North Dakota. And again, they had a lot of possessions. They rented a boxcar, so that indicates that in New York City, they had accumulated some wealth. They traveled by train out to North Dakota. The train went to Bismarck, and then from there, they had to take wagons, and they went to a location near a little town called Ashley. And Israel Arbach became a homesteader on 160 acres, a very poor farmland covered with rocks. And these rocks were a big problem to the farmers because it took a lot of energy and time to make these into a rock pile so that land could be cultivated. Israel Arbach was not cut out to be a farmer. But even so, he was able to accumulate a little wealth to bring members of the family out of Russia. And this was one of his aims, to aid family members. And I know that he aided his wife's sister and her husband to come to North Dakota, and provided money so they could bring 2 of their children. The oldest child was a young woman who was married, and my grandfather, Israel, did not have enough money to bring them, but he